It's now my privilege to introduce our Convocation speaker, Ms. Carla Robinson. Ms. Robinson grew up in Bella Bella and Kitimat, two small First Nation reserves on the rugged northwest coast of British Columbia. After working for the local newspaper from the age of 16, Robinson earned her BA in Mass Communications from Carleton University and her MA in Journalism from Western University. She then embarked on a career in television, broadcasting, including roles as a reporter, a producer, a national news anchor, and host with CBC. In the past 2 years, Ms. Robinson has started her own production company and has designed and run energy-saving workshops with the Abor Group, an environmental consulting company. Her work with this group has facilitated the delivery of energy-efficient upgrades to over 2,000 low-income homes in 29 First Nations communities through the Aboriginal Convocation program. Throughout her career, Carla Robinson has been a role model in the Native community. She's spoken nationally and internationally about her journey as a Native person and a woman in the media industry, and about how Native issues are portrayed in the mainstream media. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Carla Robinson to the podium.
Great. Thank you, Professor Angela Hildyard, for the kind introductions, Chancellor Michael Wilson, and Dean Julia O'Sullivan from OISE for inviting me tonight. This is a great honor. Graduates, as someone who missed both of her convocation ceremonies, I say with all honesty, it is important that you are here tonight. I've learned the hard way that it's celebrating our successes that make our accomplishments feel real. And that is what grounds us and gives us energy for the rest of our journey. I'm so happy to be part of your convocation ceremony tonight. I hope you don't mind if I consider it mine too. Before we begin, I would like to quickly thank the Mississaugas of New Credit for sharing their territory with us all these years. Chi-miigwech. The vision I want to share with you tonight is a humble one. Simply, let's create a new world together. As you graduate from this incredible university, I would like you, your parents, and loved ones to imagine for a moment a world where the water and air are clean, where we are all living healthy and sustainable lives, and know we are leaving the world a better place for future generations. A world where a woman can go anywhere, anytime, and feel safe from harm. And a world where we all have full bellies and a roof over our head. I ask you to imagine these possibilities because I believe we can create them. The gift of being human is that we only need to imagine an idea, commit to it, and make it happen. And if history serves as a model, if we commit and act on it together, it happens much faster. I believe we can create this new world for several reasons. One, it has already existed here on Turtle Island or North America before. My mama'o, Laura Robinson, was the Mulchmujich, or matriarch of the Haisla Nation. She used to tell me stories of what it was like pre-contact. She said the elders told her there was basically no such thing as theft in our communities because no one felt the need to take something without permission. Our system of redistribution not only made sure everyone in the community worked together and got what they needed, but our potlatch system also allowed us to help our neighbors through lean years with dignity, just as they would do for us. As an example of how our systems have been a model for this society, leading feminist Sally Roche Wagner explored in her book, Sisters in Spirit, how the three founders of the women's rights movement based their fight for equality and freedom on the lives of Haudenosaunee, or Iroquois, and other indigenous women. As newcomers, she explained, they were keenly aware of how their corseted and controlled lives paled in comparison to the lives of respect and autonomy being enjoyed by their neighboring indigenous sisters. Roche Wagner admits in her book it took until late in her career for her to see the real inspiration of the women's movement because she was blinded by the Eurocentric lens she was taught to use. Early Canadian governments also had a close friendship with their Indigenous neighbors and found inspiration as well. Multiculturalism has its roots in our concepts of peaceful coexistence. You live in your canoe, I live in my canoe, but we share this space. The concept of peace, order, and good governance also reflects the intertribal dish with one spoon treaty. And that treaty predated contact. The treaty outlines how the Eastern nations would responsibly and peacefully share their territory. Author John Ralston Saul writes extensively about this influence in his book, Canada, a Fair Country. Internationally, the founding fathers of the United States based their new federation's constitution on the Iroquois Confederacy's Great Law of Peace and Constitution. Conversely, Frederick Engels also used it as a model for his vision of socialism. Unfortunately, though, these fathers didn't go far enough. Also blinded by cultural lenses, they failed to see the strong but quiet and balancing influence of the mothers and grandmothers in our governing systems. I remember one elder jokingly say, as she lovingly accepted an award for her husband, "I'm the backbone to the jawbone." As beautiful as these relationships were, the initial surge of interest in our philosophies, social structures, and governing laws was not to last. The Victorian age ushered in an attitude of pride and paternalism, and instead of learning from our people, the new colonial governments began enacting laws that guided authorities to forcefully take our children away and send them to residential schools. There, for generations, these institutions worked tirelessly to take the Indian out of the child. Instead of liberty, our women's identity and property were stripped away. Along with the men, they were made wards of the state. I share with you tonight this brief history to give you context and to show you the roads our societies have been down. I believe as Indigenous people, we are starting to come out of this dark period. I'm sure you've seen the social fallout of these devastating policies on my people, in the news, in the media. But our spirits and cultures are still intact, and the hearts of our women are still beating and growing stronger. We are reclaiming our rights and our voices. Through these trying times, our eyes have remained open to truth and possibility. Through the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, our people are starting to call for a much-needed conversation. So where can we go from here? I hope we can come together with open minds, with open hearts, eyes, and ears. I ask, as you leave this university and begin your careers, that you can be open to the mutual and inspiring relationship we can have again. That you and I and others can pick up where our ancestors left off and explore new ideas in, say, sustainable management, family and property laws, restorative justice, and holistically based education, health, and social service systems. I believe this time, by including the female wisdom in our models, we can make our councils, chambers, and parliaments more respectful places and reshape our governments to be balanced and accountable. We can make them truly democratic, as was the goal many years ago. So does agreeing to such a journey just bring heaviness and obligation? No. Like I said earlier, celebration is what sustains us. And what is gratefulness but a daily celebration of what we have? Canada is built on the beauty of our combined strengths. And in this time of rapid depletion of the planet's health and resources, we need now, more than ever, to be grateful for what we have and to be creative in protecting and nurturing it. In closing, my mama'o also taught me, as someone born into a prosperous clan and who has been given gifts and knowledge, it is my duty to share with others what I can. I ask you today to think about what you can share and combine the blessings of your background, your solid education, and your natural gifts with others to create an amazing new world. Gila Kesla, Niawe, thank you for listening.